for purpose. This is very nice diary that scriptures that we proper purpose by hearing from proper that we also relationship proper that we study scriptures with the relationship with scriptures. And it's also very faithful still, very inspiring. So since today's Advait culture is still integrated from Chaitanya by Krishna Goswami for translation and purpose learning implement this is complete. Before we go reading the glories of Advait, I want to know all the glorious devotees who are sitting here. So they just go on. Yes, they go in 4 p.m.
Yes.
Yes, Rajit.
Devraj.
Deva.
Devraj.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. You? Shivkumar from. Okay. Shiv Satyanarayan. It's different. Shivkumar is different. So Shivkumar, you are 4th year. And Shiv Satyanarayan, you are from 5th year. Question from which place? Yes. We are from which year? Okay. Shiv and both of you are same age. Yes. Shivam, good year. From Shiv Satyanarayan from 5th year. Yeah. The truth of so this is chapter chapter 6, the glories of Advait Acharya. Chapter 6. The truth of Advait Acharya described in 2 verses. It is said that material nature has 2 features, namely material cause and the efficient cause. So we'll read, after reading I will ask some of you to repeat at least some points from what we have read so that at least something we remember. The efficient causal activities are caused by Mahavishnu and material causal activities are caused by another form of Mahavishnu known as Advaita. That Advaita, the superintelligence of the cosmic manifestation, has descended in the form of Advait Acharya to associate with Lord Chaitanya. When he is addressed as servitor of Lord Chaitanya, his glories are magnified. Because unless one is invigorated by this mentality of servitorship, one cannot understand the mellows derived from devotional service to Supreme Lord Krishna. Vande tam Srimad Advaita Acharyam Adbhuta Chestitam Yasya Prasadat Agyopi Tat Sarupam Nirupaya. I offer my respectful obeisance to Sri Advait Acharya, whose activities are all wonderful. By his mercy, even a foolish person can describe his characteristics. Here we see in scriptures one fundamental quality of the great compilers of scriptures. Like here we see Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami has written the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And anybody reads Chaitanya one will be amazed with his depth of knowledge, his depth of literature knowledge, the poetic nature, and it's like a very amazing composition. mind-boggling composition. It's such an amazing that even in Bengali literature, even non-devotees study Chaitanya Charitamrita because of it's so filled with alankars, ornaments, and beautiful, these things. But here we see Krishna's story goes on is saying, by mercy of Sri Advaitacharya, even a foolish person can describe his characteristics. Whom is referring to as a foolish person? Himself. 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 Whom is referring to foolish person? Himself. Himself. So, generally, if you do some amazing composition, amazing some accomplishment, one feels proud, one feels proud. But we say, Acharyas are so humble. This Krishna Para's company glorified so much, but he in his heart is feeling he is a Buddhist person. And he's thinking, I'm able to describe something by myself. So I'm able to glorify the church by his mercy, not by my power. So these are very subtle spiritual truths which only devotee can understand. The spiritual literatures cannot be composed by materialistic. Materialistic person may be grammatically very scholarly, but he won't be able to grasp the essence because he doesn't have the access to this fundamental, very subtle aspects of devotional service. Here we see Krishna's Guru was extremely qualified, but still he feels very humble. He feels extremely dependent on the mercy of God. This beauty of devotee, they may do extraordinary things beyond any materialistic person's imagination also, but they don't get puffed up. Why? Because they are humble and they are dependent on, and because they are humble and they are dependent on, they are empowered by God. And by empowerment of God, they can do something beyond what any materialistic person can also do. And devotees are aware of that empowerment, so they do not consider themselves great. So here we see this Krishna goes on his for the basis of the channel was wonderful activity. I'm a foolish person, but by his mercy, I am trying to describe God. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. All glories to Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Lord Nityananda, all glories to Advait Acharya, all glories to all the devotees of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I had read this chapter during COVID time. So after that, I'm reading first time. I'm very grateful to all of you that by your mercy I'm able to read Chaitanya Chaitanya again. पंचश्लोके कहिल श्री नित्यानंद तत्व श्लोकद्वय कही अद्वैत आचार्य महत्व. In 5 verses, I have described the principle of Lord Nityananda. Then, in the following 2 verses, I describe the glories of Sri Advait Acharya. This Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami has an amazing style of writing. Whenever he first writes in condensed form, and then he will expand it, like 5 verses he wrote, and then from that 5 verses he will expand in chapters. 2 verses they have described otherwise goes, and then he will expand that in chapter. And every chapter also in the beginning will tell summary, and then he will expand it. So very very systematic. Yes. Another beauty of Chaitanya. Like you see, there are many books describing pastimes of Lord Chaitanya, like Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Mangal, and there are many others also. But still, Srila Prabhupada chose Chaitanya Charitamrita. Why? Because in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna's Goswami first explains Tattva very nicely. And then he explains the past tense. When you understand that one, and then your past tense, then you better appreciate it. Like in other scriptures, most there are past tense described. So when anybody knows Tattva, they will very much understand and appreciate. But people who don't know Tattva, they may misunderstand and get confused. So because Prabhupada was presenting to Westerners and Kali people, so he understood that understanding Tattva is very important. So he translated this so that people can understand Tattva and then understand past tense. So practically you see Adilila, most of it is Tattva. And then later on we'll see from 13th chapter, then past tense will start. And even in past tense, he bring out many wonderful lessons. Our Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he writes that actually Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his Leela, he, he is earlier a seeker and his human Leela. He's playing the role of a seeker and studying many scriptures. We see Bhaktivinoda Thakur studying Vedic literatures, studying Bible, studying Quran, studying different religious these things. And Bhaktivinoda was studying Bhagavatam. And then he wanted to study Chaitanya Charitamrita, and then he was searching after many years. He was able to find a copy of Chaitanya Charitamrita. And when he read Chaitanya Charitamrita, he was so ecstatic, he was so happy. He said, after reading Chaitanya, I understood actual Tattva. And then he said, later I was able to better understand Bhagavatam, and then I was able to better understand Bhagavad Gita. If you understand Chaitanya Charitamrita, so my actually Chaitanya Charitamrita means Tattva, philosophy is so pakka. There is no question of then misunderstanding. And you know that Tattva, when you study Bhagavatam, you will not get confused. So it's no. So he, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that I was able to understand Bhagavatam because of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Therefore, we see our Srila Prabhupada in the first canto introduction of Bhagavatam, use entire life story of Chaitanya Charitamrita. And he said, if you understand life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then you will understand Bhagavatam, life of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur was able to appreciate Bhagavatam, accept Bhagavatam, and understand Bhagavatam because of studying Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Chaitanya Charitamrita was so very beautifully composed, and Chaitanya's philosophy is otherwise so amazing. All dots, whatever dots you find it in Bhagavatam, will be connected here. So whatever doubts you read Bhagavatam, you may have some doubts. You read Bhagavatam, some doubts you will be like. Then after studying Bhagavatam, you may have some doubts. You study Chaitanya, all your doubts will be clarified, and then you will be able to see everything. महाविष्णुर्जगत्कर्ता मायया श्रीरति अदा तस्यवतार एकवायम् अद्वैत आचार्य ईश्वर. This is important words to recite 3 times. महाविष्णुर्जगत्कर्ता मायया श्रीरति अदा तस्य अवतार एवायम् अद्वैत आचार्य ईश्वर. महाविष्णुर्जगत्कर्ता मायया श्रुति अदा तस्य अवतार एवायम् अद्वैत आचार्य ईश्वर. Mahavishnu, the resting place of the efficient gods. Jagatkarta, the creator of the cosmic world, Maya, by the illusory energy, here, who Shijati creates Ada, that universe. Thus, his avatar, incarnation, Eva certainly. I am this Advaita Acharya, Ishvara, the Supreme Lord, resting place of multiple gods. Okay. Translation. Lord Advaita Acharya is the incarnation of Mahavishnu, whose main function is to create the cosmic world through the action of Maya. So Mahavishnu plants the slum, material nature, and the whole material gets activated. Advaitam Harina Advaita Acharyam Bhakti Samsana Bhaktavtaram Ishantam Advait Acharyam Ashraye. Because he is not different from Hari, the Supreme Lord. He is called Advaita. Advaita means different. Advaita means not different. So Advaita means he is not different from Supreme Lord. Hari. And because he propagates the cult of devotion, he is called Acharya. He is the Lord and the incarnation of Lord's devotee. Therefore, I take shelter of him. So who is Advaita Acharya? So he is incarnation of Mahavishnu. Who is Mahavishnu? Mahavishnu is from whole universe has come. When Mahavishnu excels, when we inhale and exhale, some breath come. Mm. So when Mahavishnu excels from pores of his body, like from our pores of our body, small hairs are coming. So from pores of his body, universes come. When he exhales, universes come from his body. And when he inhales, all universes are destroyed. Like our universe is one of the smallest universe in the world. And our universe, our lifetime is lifetime of Brahma. So when universe is created, Brahma bonds, and when universe is destroyed, that is death of Brahma. And Brahma's lifetime is 311 trillion 40 billion years. Now, 100 years we understand, 1,000 years we understand, 10,000 years we understand, lakh years we understand. Can you imagine 10 lakh years? Can you imagine 10 lakh means 1 million years? And 10 lakh into 1,000 means 1 billion years. Into 1,000 trillion years. And 300 trillion years, what it means, we cannot imagine the life of Brahma. In front of life of Brahma, our life is not the one life of a microbe. Hospital life is very fine, like you compare to. Like for example, some microbes they may give for few seconds. They're born, they produce, whatever in few seconds they die. So their life compared to human life, like they're like microbes, like microbes compared to us, very few seconds time. So our life is not a few seconds compared to Brahma's life. And that Brahma lives for 340 billion. Just one breath, that is one breath of Mahavishnu. And Mahavishnu excels. Super created Brahma that one. When he inhales, Brahma dies, that is all finished. All our so-called great achievement, everything is finished. No? That is Brahma. In front of Brahma, we are insignificant. No? Can you imagine how great is Mahavishnu? And Advaita is incarnation of that. So it's not ordinary person. So he is Supreme Lord. He is Vishnu Tattva. And he is also acting as a devotee, an acharya, teaching how to perform devotion. So that is called Advaita. Advaita is non different from Lord Acharya because it's teaching devotional service by own example. अद्वैताचार्य गोसाई साक्षात ईश्वर हर महिमा है जीवेर गोचर. The Advaitacharya is directly the supreme person God himself. His glory is beyond the conception of ordinary living beings. What can we understand glories of Lord? We are very tiny being. Our intelligence is super tiny. God is unlimited, infinite, and he has inconceivable potencies. With unlimited years of research also, we won't be able to understand glories of God. We are too tiny. So, his glories are beyond the conception of ordinary living beings. We may do PhD for millions of lifetimes also. We won't be able to get higher of the understanding of glory of God. So to understand that it's inconceivable. But his mercy and by mercy we can try to get a glimpse of it. महाविष्णु सृष्टि करेन जगत आदि कार्य तार अवतार साक्षात अद्वैत आचार्य. Mahavishnu performs all the functions for the creation of the universe. The Advaitacharya is his direct service. ये पुरुष सृष्टि स्थिति करे न माया अनंत ब्रह्मांड सृष्टि करे न विलया. That Purush creates and maintains with his external energy. He creates innumerable universes in his pastimes. So when Mahavishnu breathes, he exhales, unlimited universes are coming out. There's no calculation. So-called scientists, they may think, oh, there is this Milky Way, this galaxy, and unlimited galaxy, and they may do so many paintings and some artificial images. This is just mental speculation. There's no basis of it. They say, oh, light years far, this is that. Just imagination. They have no idea how great is the universe and this thing. Even, but at least even with little influence, even they understand it's unlimited. And that unlimited, everything is coming from Mahavishnu and is maintained by him. As his pastime. He doesn't have to endeavor a lot or struggle a lot. इच्छया अनंत मूर्ति करे न प्रकाश एक एक मूर्ति करे न ब्रह्मांडे प्रवेश. Why still he manifests himself in unlimited forms, in which he enters each and every universe? So unlimited universes are formed, and then in every universe, Supreme Lord enters. So he expands himself unlimitedly. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnam Evam Shishyate. The Lord may expand unlimitedly, still he remains Lord. It's not that he reduces in any way. Lord is complete, all his creations are complete, and so many complete units come from Lord, still Lord remains complete and perfect. There is no diminution in Lord. Just because now he has expanded in unlimited forms. It's not that original Lord has reduced in some way. से पुरुषेर अंश अद्वैत नाही किछु भेद शरीर विशेषतार नाही क विच्छेद. The Advaitacharya is a plenary part of that Purusha, and so is not different from him. Indeed, Sri Advaitacharya is not separate, but is under form of that Purusha, Mahavishnu. So we see Krishna is expanding in form Balram, Balram expand in form Sankarshan to Vasudeva, Sankarshan expand from in form Mool, Narayan. Then further expansion form of Sankarshan to Vasudeva, then further expansion in form of Mahavishnu, and then Mahavishnu is expanding in form of one of the expansions of Mahavishnu is Advaita Acharya. So they are all complete and perfect, like Krishna is excellent from Balram. It's not that Krishna is reducing in some way, or it's not that Balram is in some way less. Balram is also equally important. He is also very much important. So all these Vishnu Tattvas are all complete and perfect, powerful. They are all supreme personality. They are not less just because one is coming from another. Brahma is giving an analogy that there are many candles, but one is original. But then they're equally powerful candles. So there are expansions, but still it's not that expansion of something less. So Advaita is expansion of Karmadaksha Vishnu or Mahavishnu. सहाय करे न तार लाइया प्रधान कोटि ब्रह्मांड करे न इच्छाया निर्माण he Advaitacharya helps in the pastime of the Purusha. Purusha means Mahavishnu, with whose material energy and by whose will he creates innumerable universes. So the Lord doesn't have to work very hard. Ichaya, just by his will, just by desire. For us to do small creation, just to renovate this building, how much effort it takes, how much time, how much energy, how much supervision, how much small things to do takes a lot of efforts. When you start doing, you'll understand. But God does things just by His ichya. That is the meaning of God. That is the meaning of God and living into this. God can do amazing things just by His desire. जगत मंगल अद्वैत मंगल गुण धाम मंगल चरित्र सदा मंगल यार नाम. So being a reserve of all auspicious attributes, qualities. Sri Advaita Acharya is all auspicious for the world. His characteristics, his activities, and name are all auspicious. So everything is Jagat Mangal. Characteristics, everything is auspicious. Purport. Sri Advaita Prabhu, who is an incarnation of Mahavishnu, is an acharya or teacher. All his activities and all the other activities of Vishnu are auspicious. Anyone who can view the all auspiciousness in the pastime of Lord Vishnu also becomes auspicious simultaneously. Therefore, since Lord Vishnu is the fountainhead of auspiciousness, anyone who is attracted by the devotional service of Lord Vishnu can render the greatest service to human society. Rejected persons of the material world who refuse to understand pure devotional service as the eternal function of living entities and as actual liberation from the living being from conditioned life become bereft of all devotional service because of their poor fund of knowledge. In the teachings of Advait Prabhu, there is no question of fruity activities or impersonal liberation. Fruity activities means karma kanda. Karma kanda means you worship God with the result and with desire to get some result. All these paths, there are so many hundreds and thousands of different religions are there in this world. Hindu religion, Christian religion, Muslim religion, different religions are there. Mostly they are karma kanda. Karma kanda means they go to God, they say, I will worship you, give me this in return. They do, they do business. So that is called karma kanda. But otherwise, Prabhu's teaching that there's no question of karma kanda. You don't worship God with expecting something. Or there's no conception of impersonal worship. Or some people they worship God and they want to become free from birth, what it is. They want to merge with Lord, they want to become God themselves. So there's no question of these two things, karma kanda or impersonal. Fueled by the spell of material energy, however, persons who could not understand that Advait Prabhu is not different from Vishnu wanted to follow him with their impersonal conception. The attempt of Advait Prabhu to punish them is also auspicious. Lord Vishnu and his activities can bestow all good fortune, directly and indirectly. In other words, by being favored by Lord Vishnu and being punished by Lord Vishnu are one and the same. Because all activities of Vishnu are absolute. If Krishna is blessing some devotee or Krishna is killing some demon, both are auspicious. Both parties are benefited. Similarly, whatever Advaita does, other than blessing someone or punishing someone, it's all absolute. It's all good. According to some, Mangal was another name of Advaita Prabhu. As a causal incarnation or Lord Vishnu's incarnation for a particular occasion, he is a supply agent or ingredient in material nature. However, he is never to be considered material. All his activities are spiritual. Anyone who hears about and glorifies him becomes glorified himself. For such activities, free one from all kinds of misfortune. Just by hearing glories of Lord, just by glorifying Lord, our life becomes fortunate. One should not invest any material contamination or impersonalism in the Vishnu form. Everyone should try to understand the real identity of Lord Vishnu. For by such knowledge, one can attain the higher stage of perfection. V.C. Shankaracharya propagated Advaita philosophy. Advaita philosophy means we are not different from God. I am God, you are God, everybody is God. But Advaita Acharya doesn't propagate Advaita philosophy. He refutes Advaita philosophy. So we are not followers of Advaita philosophy. We are followers of Advaita Acharya philosophy. Advaita Acharya is very strongly against impersonalism and fruitism. Advaita means non-different. Same. Advaita means different. Advaita means one. Advaita, it is called Advaita because he is Lord himself. He is not different from Lord. He is Mahavishnu himself. So therefore he is called Advaita. Advaita means non-different from Lord. He is Lord himself. And as far as we are concerned, we are same with Lord. We are one with Lord in quality. Sachidananda, Lord is Sachidananda. But we are different. We are tiny. We are Anu, Lord is Vibhu. We are infinitesimal. Lord is infinite. In quality, we are same. In quantity, we are different. So, we are called a separated part and parcel of Lord. Vibhinna Amshas. And Balram, Sankarshan, Vasudev, Mahavishnu, Advaita, they are integrated part and parcel of Lord. Integrated part and parcel of Lord means they are all one with God. And we are one with Lord in quality, but we are separated. And we are not equal in quality. So Advait Acharya is Lord himself, because he is integrated part and parcel of God. He is Vishnu Tattva. We are Jiva Tattva. Vishnu Tattva is Supreme Personal Godhead. Jiva Tattva is not Supreme Personal Godhead. Jiva Tattva is servant of God. So, whatever Lord does is auspicious. Whatever living he does may be auspicious, may not be auspicious. Depends. Okay. So, whatever Advaita does, he is blessing someone is auspicious. He is chastising someone is auspicious. Because it's all auspicious person, all perfect personality. Okay. कोटि अंश कोटि शक्ति कोटि अवतार एक वयस के पुरुष सकल संसार Mahavishnu creates the entire material world with millions of his parts, energies, and incarnations. So many living entities are coming, so many energies are coming, so many incarnations are coming from Lord. 40, so many millions. माया एक से दुई अंश निमित्त उपदान माया निमित्त हेतु उपदान प्रधान पुरुष ईश्वर ऐसे द्विमूर्ति हैया विश्व सृष्टि करे निमित्त उपदान लया. Just as the external energy consists of two parts, the efficient cause and the material cause, nimitta and material cause, upadana. Maya being the efficient cause and pradana, the material cause. So, Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personal God, assumes two forms to create the material world with the efficient and material causes. Like for making a pot, on the pot maker, so there is a wheel, like he takes mud and puts on the wheel and he starts rotating and he puts the hand and then slowly what happens? Pot comes, isn't it? So wheel is one instrument. And then potter himself is also, potter is the efficient cause. And that wheel is the material cause. Upadana, instrument. When the pot is made, there's wheel also, there's a potter also. So potter is the efficient cause, and that wheel is a material cause. So for creation, two things are required: an efficient cause and one upadana. Nimitta and upadana. Efficient cause and material cause. There are two kinds of research to find the original cause of creation. One conclusion is that the Supreme Personal Godhead, the all blissful, eternal, all knowing form, is indirectly the cause of this cosmic manifestation and directly the cause of spiritual world, where there are innumerable spiritual planets known as Vaikunthas, as well as the personal abode known as Guru Buddha. In other words, there are two manifestations, the material cosmos and the spiritual world. As in the material world, there are innumerable planets and universes. So in spiritual world, there are also innumerable spiritual planets and universes, including the Vaikunthas and Goloka. The Supreme Lord is the cause of both material and spiritual worlds. The other conclusion, of course, is that this cosmic manifestation is caused by an inexplicable, unmanifested void. This argument is meaningless. The first conclusion is accepted by Vedanta philosophers, and the second is supported by the atheistic philosophical system of Sankhya Smriti, which directly opposes the Vedanta philosophical conclusions. Material scientists cannot see any cognizant spiritual substance that might be the cause of the creation. Such atheistic Sankhya philosophers think that the symptoms of knowledge and living force visible in the innumerable living creatures are caused by three qualities of cosmic manifestation. Therefore, Sankhites are against the conclusion of Vedanta regarding the original cause of creation. Actually, the Supreme Absolute Spirit Soul is the cause of every kind of manifestation and is always complete, both as the energy and as the energetic. The cosmic manifestation is caused by this energy of Supreme Absolute Person, in whom all energies are conserved. Philosophers who are subjectively engaged in the cosmic manifestation can appreciate only the wonderful energies of matter. Such philosophers accept the conception of God only as a product of material energy. According to their conclusions, the source of the energy is also a product of the energy. Such philosophers longly observe that living creatures within the cosmic manifestation are caused by the material energy, and they think that supreme absolute conscious being must similarly be a product of material energy. Since materialistic philosophers and scientists are too much engaged with their imperfect senses, naturally they conclude that living force is a product of material combination. But the actual fact is just the opposite. Matter is product of spirit. According to Bhagavad Gita, the supreme spirit, the personality God, is the source of all energies. When one advances in research work by studying a limited substance within the limits of space and time, one is amazed by the various wonderful cosmic manifestations, and naturally one goes on hypnotically accepting the path of research work or the inductive method. To the detective way of understanding, however, one accepts the supreme absolute person, the person God, as the cause of all causes, who is full with diverse energies and who is neither impersonal nor void. The impersonal manifestation of supreme person is another display of his energy. Therefore, the conclusion is that matter is the original cause of the creation is completely different from the real truth. Therefore, the conclusion that matter is the original cause of creation is completely different from the real truth. Multiple manifestations caused by the plans of the Supreme Personality, who is inconceivably potent. Material nature is electrified by supreme authority, and the conditioned soul, within the limits of time and space, is trapped by awe of the material manifestation. In other words, supreme personality is actually realized the vision of material philosophers and scientists to the manifestation of his material energy. For one who does not understand the power of supreme personality or his diverse energies because of not knowing the relationship between source of the energies and energy themselves, there's always a chance of error, which is known as vivarka. As long as materialistic scientists and philosophers do not come to the right conclusion, certainly they will hover above the material field, bereft of proper understanding of absolute truth. The great Vaishnava philosophers, Srila Baldev Vidyabhushan, has very nicely explained the materialistic conclusions in his Govind Bhashya, a commentary on Vedanta Sutra. He writes as follows. Sankhya philosopher Kapila has connected the different elemental truths according to his own opinion. Material nature, according to him, consists of there are two Kapila. One is Supreme Lord Kapila, and there is materialistic Sankhya philosopher Kapila. So material nature, according to him, consists of the equilibrium of three material qualities: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Material nature produces the material energy known as Mahat, and Mahat produces the false ego. The ego produces the five objects of sense perception, which produce the 10 senses, five for acquiring knowledge and five for working, the mind and the five gross elements. Counting the Purusha or the enjoyer with these 24 elements, there are 25 different truths. The non-manifest stage of this 25 elemental truth is called Prakriti of material nature. Qualities of material nature can oscillate in three different states, namely as the cause of happiness, the cause of distress, and the cause of illusion. The quality of goodness is the cause of material happiness, quality of passion is the cause of material distress, and quality of ignorance is the cause of illusion. Our material experience lies within the boundaries of these three manifestations of happiness, distress, and illusion. For example, a beautiful woman is certainly a cause of material happiness for one who possesses her as a wife. But the same beautiful woman is cause of distress to a man whom she rejects or who is the cause of her anger. And if she leaves a man, she becomes the cause of illusion. This two kinds of senses are the 10 external senses and the one internal sense, the mind. Thus, there are 11 senses. According to Kapila, material nature is eternal and all powerful. Worship there is no spirit and matter has no cause. So matter itself is the chief cause of everything. So this is mundane. Okay, this is not. It is the all-pervading cause of all cause. Sankhya regard the total knowledge Mahattatva, the false ego, the five objects in perception, as seven diverse manifestations of nature, which has two features known as material cause and efficient cause. The Purusha, the enjoyer, is without transformation, whereas material nature is always subject to transformation. But all the material nature is inert. It is the cause of enjoyment and salvation for many living beings. Its activities are beyond the conception and sense perception. But still, one may guess at them by superior intelligence. Material nature is one, but because of the interaction of three qualities, it can produce the total energy and wonderful cosmic manifestation. Such transformation divides material nature into two features, namely efficient and material causes. The Purusha, the enjoyer, is inactive and without material qualities, although at the same time it is non-stop, existing separately in each and every body as the emblem of knowledge. By understanding the material cause, one can guess that the Purusha, the enjoyer, being without activities, aloof from all the kinds of enjoyment or superintendence. Sankhya philosophy, after describing the nature of Prakriti and Purusha, asserts that the creation is only a product of their unification or proximity to one another. With such unification, the living symptoms are visible in material nature, but one can guess that in the person of enjoy, the Purusha, there are powers of control and enjoyment. When the Purusha is illusioned for want of sufficient knowledge, he feels himself to be the enjoyer, and when he is in full knowledge, he is liberated. In Sankhya philosophy, Purusha is described to be always indifferent to the activities of Prakriti. The Sankhya philosophers accept three kinds of evidence, namely direct perception, hypothesis, and traditional authority. When such evidence is complete, everything is perfect. The process of comparison within such perfection. Beyond such evidence, there is no proof. There is not much controversy regarding direct perceptual evidence or authorized traditional evidence. The Sankhya system of philosophy identifies three kinds of procedures, namely parinama, transformation, samanvaya, adjustment, and shaktita, performance of energies, as the cause of cosmic manifestation. Shilbhadeva Vidyabhushan, in his commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, has tried to nullify this conclusion because he thinks that discrediting these so-called causes of the cosmic manifestation will nullify the entire Sankhya philosophy. Materialistic philosophers accept matter to be the material and efficient cause of creation. For them, matter is the cause of every type of manifestation. Generally, give the example of water pot and clay. Clay is the cause of water pot, but the clay can be found as both cause and effect. The water pot is the effect, and the clay itself is the cause. But clay is visible everywhere. A tree is matter, but a tree produces fruit. Water is matter, but water flows. In this way, say the Samkites, matter is the cause of movement and production. As such, matter can be considered the material and the efficient cause of everything in the cosmic manifestation. Shilbaldev Bhushan has therefore enunciated nature of Pradhan as follows. Material nature is inert. As such, it cannot be cause of matter, neither as the material nor as the efficient cause. Seeing the wonderful arrangements and management of cosmic manifestation generally suggests that living brain is behind this arrangement. For without living brain, such an arrangement could not exist. One should not imagine that such an arrangement can exist without conscious direction. In our practical experience, we never see that inert bricks can themselves construct a big building. Have you ever seen bricks come together and they have made a building? The example of the water pot cannot be accepted because the water pot has no perception of pleasure and distance. Such perception is real. Therefore, the governing body or the water pot cannot be synchronized with it. Sometimes the material scientists suggest that trees grow from earth automatically without assistance from God, because that is a tendency of matter. They also consider the intuition of living creature from birth to immaterial. But such material tendencies as bodily intuition cannot be accepted as independent, for they suggest the existence of spirit soul in the body. Actually, neither tree nor any other body of living creature has any tendency or intuition. A tendency and intuition exist because the soul is present within the body. In this connection, the example of car and driver can be given very profitably. The car has tendency to turn right and left, but one cannot say that car itself as matter turns right and left without the direction of the driver. Motor car has neither tendencies nor intuition, independent of the intentions of driver within the car. Same principle applies for atomic growth of trees in the forest. Growth takes place because of the soul's presence within the tree. Sometimes foolish people take it for granted that because scorpions are born from the hips of rice, the rice is produced scorpions. The real fact, however, is that the mother scorpion lays eggs with the rice. In the proper fermentation of the rice, the eggs give birth to several baby scorpions, which in due course come out. This does not mean that the rice gives birth to the scorpions. Similarly, sometimes bugs are seen to come from dirty beds. This does not mean, however, that the beds give birth to the bugs. It is the living soul that comes forth, taking advantage of the dirty condition of the bed. There are different kinds of living creatures. Some of them come from embryos, some from eggs, and some from the fermentation of perspiration. Different living creatures have different source of appearance, but one should not conclude that matter produces such living creatures. The example cited by materialists that trees automatically come from earth follows the same principle. taking advantage of certain conditions. A living entity comes from the earth. According to Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad, every living being is forced by divine superintendence to take certain type of body according to its past states. There are many varieties of bodies, and because of divine arrangement, a living entity takes bodies of different shape. When a person thinks, I am doing this, the I am does not refer to the body. It refers to something more than the body or within the body. As such, the body, as it is, has neither tendencies nor intuition. The tendencies and intuition belong to the soul within the body. Material scientists sometimes suggest that the tendencies of male and female bodies cause their union, and that is the cause of birth of the child. But since Purusha, according to some philosophy, is always unaffected, where does the tendency to give birth come from? Sometimes material scientists give the example that milk turns into curd automatically, and that distilled water pouring from the clouds falls down to the earth, produce different kinds of trees and enter different kinds of flowers and fruits with different fragrance and taste. Therefore, they say matter produces varieties of material things on its own. In reply to this argument, the same proposition of Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad, that different kinds of living creatures are put into different kinds of bodies by the management of a superior power, is repeated. Under superior superintendence, various souls, according to their past activity, are given the chance to take particular type of body, such as that of a tree, animal, bird, or beast, and thus the different tendencies develop under these circumstances. The Bhagavad Gita further affirms, Purusha prakristo hi vamte prakrujam gunam karanam guna sangasya sad asit yoni janmasu. The living entity in material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the modes of material nature. This is due to the association with the material nature. Thus, he meets with good and evil among various species. The soul is given different types of bodies. For example, where souls not given varieties of tree bodies, the different varieties of fruits and flowers could not be produced. Each class of tree produces a particular kind of fruit and flower. It is not that there is no distinction between the different classes. An individual tree does not produce flowers of different colors or fruits of different tastes. There are demarcated classes as we find them among humans, animals, birds, and species. There are innumerable living entities and their activities performed in the material world according to different qualities of the material nature, material modes of nature, give them chance to have different kinds of lives. Thus, one should understand that Pradhan, matter, cannot act unless impelled by living creature. The materialist theory that matter independently acts cannot therefore be accepted. Matter is called Prakriti, which refers to female energy. Woman is Prakriti, a female. A female cannot produce a child without the association of Purusha, a man. The Purusha causes the birth of child because the man injects the soul, which is sheltered in the semen, into the womb of a woman. The woman, as the material cause, supplies the body of the soul, and as the efficient cause, she gives birth to the child. But although the woman appears to be material and efficient cause of the birth of the child, originally the Purush, the male, is the cause of the child. Similarly, this material world gives rise to varieties of manifestations due to the entrance of Garbhodaksha Vishnu within the universe. He is present not only within the universe, but within the bodies of all living things, as well as within the atom. We understand from the Brahma Samhita that super soul is present within the universe, within the atom, and within the heart of every living creature. Therefore, theory that matter is the cause of entire cosmic manifestation cannot be accepted by any man with sufficient knowledge of matter and spirit. Materialistic sometimes give the argument that as straw eaten by a cow produces milk automatically, so material nature under different circumstances produce varieties of manifestations. Thus, original matter is the cause. In refuting this argument, we may say that an animal of the same species as the cow, namely the bull, also eats straw like the cow, but does not produce milk. Under the circumstances, it cannot be said that straw in connection with particular species produce milk. The conclusion should be that there is superior management, as confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, where the Lord says, Maya Dekshana Prakriti Suyate Sa Charachara. The material nature is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, and is producing all moving and unmoving beings. The Supreme Lord says, Maya Dekshana, under my superintendence. When he desires that a cow produce milk by eating straw, that's milk. And when he does not so desire it, the mixture of such straw cannot produce milk. If the way of material nature had been that straw produced milk, a stack of straw would also produce milk. But that is not possible. And the same straw given to human female also cannot produce milk. That is meaning of Bhagavad Gita statement that only under superior orders does anything take place. Matter itself has no power to produce independently. The conclusion, therefore, is that matter which has no self-knowledge cannot be the cause of matter creation. The ultimate creator is the Supreme Personal Godhead. If matter were accepted as the original cause of creation, all the authorized scripture in the world would be useless. For in every scripture, especially very scripture like the Manusmriti, Supreme Personal Godhead is stated to be the ultimate creator. The Manusmriti is considered the highest Vedic direction of humanity. Manu is the giver of law to mankind, and in Manusmriti it is clearly stated that before the creation, the entire universal space was darkness, without information and without variety, and was in a state of complete suspension like a dream. Everything was darkness. Supreme Personal Godhead then entered the universal space, and although he is invisible, he created a visible cosmic manifestation. In the material world, the Supreme Personal Godhead is not manifested by his personal presence, but the presence of the cosmic manifestation in different varieties is the proof that everything has been created under his direction. He entered the universe with all creative potencies, and thus he removed the darkness of the unlimited space. The form of Supreme God is described by that to be transcendental, very subtle, eternal, all-pervading, inconceivable, and therefore non-manifested to the material senses of the conditioned living entities. He desired to expand himself into many living entities, and with such a desire, he first created a vast expanse of water within the universal space, and then impregnated that water with living entities. By that process of impregnation, a massive body appeared, blazing like thousand suns, and in that body was the first creative principle, Brahma. The great Parashar Rishi has confirmed this in Vishnu Puran. He says that the cosmic manifestation visible to us is produced by Lord Vishnu and sustained under his protection. He is the principal maintainer and destroyer of the universal form. This cosmic manifestation is one of the diverse energies of Supreme Personal Godhead. As a spider secretes saliva and views the web by its own movement, but at the end binds up the web within its body. So Lord Vishnu produces cosmic manifestation from his own trans body and at the end binds it up within himself. All the great sages of Vedic understanding have accepted the Supreme Personal Godhead to be the original creator. It is sometimes claimed that impersonal speculations of great philosophers are meant for the advancement of knowledge without religious ritualistic principles. But the religious ritualistic principles are actually meant for advancement of spiritual knowledge. By performance of religious rituals, one ultimately reaches the supreme goal of knowledge by understanding that Vasudeva, the supreme Godhead, is the cause of everything. It is clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita that even those who are advocates of knowledge alone, without any religious rituals process, advance in knowledge after many, many lifetimes of speculation, and thus come to the conclusion that Vasudeva is supreme cause of everything that we. Vasudeva Sarviti Mahatma Suturlabha. As a result of this achievement of the goal of life, such an advanced learned scholar or philosopher surrenders under the Supreme Personal Godhead. Religious ritualistic performances are actually meant to cleanse the contaminated mind in the material world. And the special feature of this age of Kali is that one can easily experience the process of cleansing the mind of contaminants by chanting the holy names of God. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. The Vedic injection states, Sarva Veda Yat Padam Amananti. All Vedic knowledge is searching after Supreme Personal Godhead. Similarly, another Vedic injection states, Narayana Parama Veda. The Vedas are meant for understanding Narayana, the Supreme Lord. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita also confirms, Vedich Sarvai Aham Eva Vedyo. By all the Vedas, Krishna is to be known. Therefore, main purpose of understanding Vedas, perform Vedic sacrifice and speculation in Vedanta Sutra, is to understand Krishna. Accepting the impersonal view of voidness or the non-existence of Supreme Godhead negate all study of Vedas. Impersonal speculation aims at disproving the conclusion of Vedas. Therefore, any impersonal speculative presentation should be understood to be against the principle of Vedas or standard scripture. Since the speculation of impersonal does not follow the principles of Vedas, their conclusion must be considered to be against Vedic principle. Anything not supported by the Vedic principle must be considered imaginary, lacking in standard proof. Therefore, no impersonal explanation of any Vedic literature can be accepted. If one tries to nullify the conclusions of Vedas by accepting an unauthorized scripture or so-called scripture, it will be very hard for him to come to right conclusion about absolute truth. The system for adjusting two contradictory scriptures is to refer to the Vedas. For the reference from Vedas are accepted as final judgment. When we refer to a particular scripture, it must be authorized. And for this authority, it must strictly follow the Vedic injunction. If someone presents an alternate doctrine he himself has manufactured That doctrine will prove itself useless. For any doctrine that tries to prove that very evidence is meaningless, immediately proves itself meaningless. The followers of the Vedas unanimously accept the authority of Manu and Parashar, the disciples of Sid. Their statements, however, do not support the atheistic Kapila, because the Kapila mentioned in the Vedas is a is a different Kapila, the son of Kardama and Devati. The atheistic Kapila is a descendant of the dynasty of Agni and is one of the conditioned souls. But the Kapila, who is the son of Kardama Muni, is accepted as the incarnation of Vasudeva. Padma Puran gives evidence that Supreme Person God Vasudeva takes birth in the incarnation of Kapila. By his expansion of theistic Sankhya philosophy, teaches all the demigods and Brahmanas of the name Asuri. In the doctrine of the atheistic Kapila, there are many statements directly against Vedic principle. The atheistic Kapila does not accept the Supreme Person Godhead. He says that living entity is himself the Supreme God and that no one is greater than him. His conception of so-called conditioned and liberated life are materialistic, and he refuses to accept the importance of immortal time. All such statements are against the principles of Vedanta Sutra. We see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami views Tattva very deeply, and our Srila Prabhupada and Siddhanta Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and Baldev Krishna, all of them have commented. They elaborately comment. Wherever philosophy comes, they will not leave. They will make sure that everybody understands. Siddhanta बोलिया चित्ते न करी आलस. So, because if fundamentals are wrong, everything will become wrong. So therefore, it may appear simple, but these are very important things, fundamental things. Like we see all material people, they think the world is coming by chance, Big Bang, Big Bang, but all these things are reflected in our scriptures very systematically. So when we study Acharya, whenever they this thing, they will very powerfully relate. Therefore, Prabhupada wanted that our devotees who are in the scientific field, they should try to present how life comes from life. Hmm. Life doesn't come from matter. Rather, matter comes from life. And how the cause of all causes actually supreme being, which is life, supreme soul. Matter doesn't have life. Soul has life. And cause of all causes is supreme soul, God. So there are many philosophers. We see there are 6 types of philosophers are there. So what are modern different people come with different theories. Everything is already included in it. It's not nobody comes with something new. Maybe they may give different names, but already all those philosophies are already reflected in our scriptures by our great acharyas, especially by the commentaries of Vedanta Sutra. Here we see Baldev Bhushan repeating many of the atheistic philosophers. So here Prabhupada said that many people accept Sankhya of Kapila, but there are 2 Kapila. Atheistic Kapila, which we don't accept because he doesn't accept God. And there is the original Kapila, who is incarnation of Lord, son of Mother Devati, and Kardama, whom we accept. And that Sankhya of God is very elaborately explained in third Kapila. अपने पुरुष विश्वेर निमित्त कारण अद्वैत रूप अपने पुरुष विश्वेर निमित्त कारण अद्वैत रूपे उपादान हय नारायण. So Lord Vishnu himself is the efficient nimitta cause of the material world, and Narayan in the form of Sri Advaita is the material cause upadana. निमित्तांशे करे ते हो माया ते इक्षण उपदान अद्वैत करेन ब्रह्मांड सृजन. Lord Vishnu in his efficient aspect glances over material energy, and Sri Advaita as the material cause creates the material world. यद्यपि सांख्य माने प्रधान कारण, जड़ है के कबू ना है जगत सृजन। Krishna's Goswami is repeating falsehoods. Although Sankhya philosophy accepts that material ingredients are the cause, the creation world never arises from that matter. Sometimes our acharyas, it may appear there 500 years ago or 1000 years ago or 5000 years ago, maybe not knowing English, speaking Bengali and Sanskrit. But actually Bengali Sanskrit is much more richer language and much more depth. And it's not that they don't understand, they deeply understand science. निज सृष्टि शक्ति प्रभु संचारे प्रधाने, ईश्वरेर शक्ति तबे हयत निर्माणे. Lord infuses the material ingredients with his own creative potency. Then, by the power of Lord, creation takes place. अद्वैत रूपे करे शक्ति संचारण, अतएव अद्वैत है न मुख्य कारण. In the form of Advaita, he infuses the material ingredients with the creative energy. Therefore, Advaita is the original cause of creation. So, there are many details involved in the creation. It's not just, So, Mahavishnu also expands to do different functions. So, one expansion of Mahavishnu is Advaita. Okay. Who gives material ingredients and who infuses material ingredients with creative energy. अद्वैत आचार्य कोटि ब्रह्मांडेर करता, और एक एक मूर्ति ब्रह्मांडेर धरता. Shri Advaitacharya is the creator of billions and billions of universes, and by his expansions, as Garbhodaksha Vishnu, he maintains each and every universe. So not only creates but also maintains. It's the Garbhodaksha Vishnu is the expansion of Advaitacharya. Garbhodaksha Vishnu is Paramatma in heart. Also, Guru is like the Shirodaksha Vishnu, who is the expansion of Garbhodaksha Vishnu. So, श्री नारायण मुख्य अंग अद्वैत, अंग शब्द अंश करी कहे भगवत. Advait is the principal link of Narayan. Srimad Bhagavatam speaks of limba, anga, as a plenary portion, amsha of Lord. नारायणस्त्वं नहि सर्वदेहिनां, आत्मसि अधीश किल लोक साक्षी. नारायणो त्वं नरो भू जलयनाथ, तच्चापि सत्यं न तवैव माया. O Lord of gods, you are the seer of all creation. You are indeed everyone's dearest line. Are you not therefore my father, Narayan? Narayan refers to one whose abode is in the water born from Nara, the Vishnu. And that Narayan is your plenary portion. All your plenary portions are transcendental. They are absolute and are not creations of Maya. So this is from Srimad Bhagavatam. So Brahma is speaking to Narayan. And he's talking to Krishna. Prayers of Brahma to Krishna. ईश्वरेर अंग अंश चिदानंदमय, मायार संबंध नाही यही श्लोक कह. This was described that the limb and the plenary portion of God are all spiritual. They have no relationship with the material energy. अंश ना कहिए केने कहतर अंग अंश है ते अंग याते है अतरंग. Why has Sri Advaita been called a limb and not a part? The reason is that limb implies greater intimacy. The limbs are very strongly connected. So, Mahavishnu Amsha Advaita Gunadhama ईश्वर अभेद के में अद्वैत पूर्ण नाम. Sri Advaita, who is the reserve of all virtues, is the main limb of Mahavishnu. His full name is Advaita, for he is identical in all respects with that Lord. पूर्वे यायचे कैल सर्व विश्वेर सृजन अवतार कैल एके भक्ती प्रवर्तन. As he had formerly created all the universe, now he descended to introduce the path of bhakti. So Lord does creation, and then Lord is concerned about deliverance of the people in the creation. So Lord descends to introduce path of bhakti. Because only by bhakti people can be delivered. जीवन विस्तारिल कृष्ण भक्ति करितान गीता भागवते कैल भक्तिर व्याख्यान. He delivered all living beings by offering the gifts of Krishna Bhakti. He explained Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam in the light of devotional service. Purport. Although Sri Advait Prabhu is an incarnation of Vishnu, for the welfare of the conditioned soul, he manifests himself as a servitor of the Supreme Person of Godhead. And throughout all his activities, he showed himself to be an eternal servitor. Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda also manifested the same principle, although they also belong to the category of Vishnu. If Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, and Advait Prabhu had exhibited their all powerful Vishnu potencies within the material world, people would have become greater impersonalists, monists, and self-worshippers than they had already become under the spell of this age. Therefore, the Supreme Godhead and different incarnations and forms played the parts of devotees to instruct the conditioned souls how to approach the trans stage of devotional service. Advaita especially intended to teach the conditioned souls about devotional service. The word acharya means teacher. The special function of such a teacher is to make people Krishna conscious. A bona fide teacher following the footsteps of Advaita has no other business than to spread the principles of Krishna consciousness to all over the world. Real qualification of an acharya is that he presents himself as a servant of the Supreme. Such a bona fide acharya can never support the demonic activities of atheistic men who present themselves as God. It is the main business of an acharya to defy such impostors posing as God before the innocent public. So here Prabhupada is mentioning if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda, Advaita, they are all Vishnu Tattvas. If they had shown that we are God, everybody will say, I am also God, In Kali Yuga, especially the Kali Yuga, people like to imitate. So therefore, imitation of good is good. So they said, let's present ourselves as devotees of Krishna. So we see Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, Advaita, etc. So they are Lord themselves, they are Vishnu Tattva. They are presenting themselves as devotees of Krishna. In that way, encouraging everybody to practice devotion. So that this impersonalism can be stopped. भक्ति उपदेश बिनु तार नाही कार्य अतएव नाम हरित अद्वैत आचार्य. Since he has no other occupation than to teach devotional service, his name is Advaita Acharya. Vaishnaver Guru Teno Jagater Arya. कोई नाम मिलने हरित अद्वैत आचार्य. He is the spiritual master of all devotees and the most revered personality in the world. By combination of these two names, his name is Advaita Acharya. Advaita means Lord himself. And Acharya means teaching pure devotion. Sri Advaita is the prime spiritual master of the Vaishnavas and he is worshipped by all Vaishnavas. Vaishnavas must follow in the footsteps of Advaita Acharya. For by so doing, one can actually engage in the devotional service of God. कमल नयने रते हो या ते अंग अंश कमलांश करी धरे नाम अवतांश. Since he is a limb or a part of lotus-eyed Supreme Lord, he also bears the name Kamalaksha. So in childhood, Advaita was given name Kamalaksha, called as Kamalaksha. ईश्वर स्वरूप्य पाय परिषद गण चतुर्भुज पीतवास ऐसे नारायण. His associates have the same body features as the Lord. They all have four arms and are dressed in yellow garments. Advait Acharya Ishwarera Amsa Varya Bharatatva Nama Guna Sakali Asharya. The Advaita Acharya is the principal name of Supreme Lord. His truth, names, and attributes are all wonderful. यार तुलसी जले यार करे स्वगन सहित चैतन्य अवतारे. He worshipped Krishna with tulsi leaves, water of Ganges, and called for him in a loud voice. Thus, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared on earth, accompanied by his personal associates. So first Lord Chaitanya appeared, then Mrs. Shivas, and so many other devotees appeared. And when they saw this Kali Yuga, it's so much progressive that in name of religion, people have become so materialistic. So many people are just absorbed in karma kanda things. They're absorbed to try to enjoy in name of religion here or try to go to heaven. Nobody has to do bhakti. So other Acharya, Srivastava, all their hearts were breaking. So other Acharya then worshipped Lord. He's Lord himself, but he thought, I have to invite Supreme Lord Krishna. And only when he comes, maybe everybody will be drowned in ecstasy of Krishna. So he performed worship of Shaligram by offering Gangajal and Tulsi. And he cried out of compassion. In response to that, prayers of Advaita Lord Chaitanya appeared. यार द्वार कैल प्रभु कीर्तन प्रचार यार द्वार कैल प्रभु जगत विस्तार. It is through him, Advaita, that Lord Chaitanya spread the Sankirtan moment, and through him that he delivered the world. आचार्य गोसाई गुण महिमा अपार जीव कीट कोथाय पाइबेग तार पार. The glory and attributes of others are unlimited. How can the insane living entity fathom them? So no matter how great we may materialistic, we are like kit of very simple. And we can never understand the glories of Advaita. आचार्य गोसाई चैतन्य मुख्य अंग हर एक अंग तार प्रभु नित्यानंद. Advaita is the principal name of Lord Chaitanya, and the name of Lord is Nityananda. So these two Prabhus, Nityananda, Advaita, who are very powerful assets of Lord Chaitanya. All this are spiritual support. Prabhu Upanga Shivasadi Bhaktagana Asta Mukha Netra Anga Chakradi Astra Sama. Devotees headed by Shivas are his smaller limbs. They are like his hands, face, eyes, and it is another weapons. So Lord is coming with his assets. His assets are his weapons. ये सब लय चैतन्य प्रभु विहार ये सब लय करेन वंचित प्रचार. With all of them, Lord Chaitanya performed his pastimes, and with them he spread his mission. माधवेंद्र पुरीरय शिष्य ज्ञाने आचार्य गोसाई प्रभु गुरु करी माने. Think he, Sri Advaitacharya, is a disciple of Sri Madhavendra. Lord Chaitanya obeys him, respecting him as his spiritual master. So, Lord Chaitanya is Lord, but he is also following the etiquettes. And therefore, in a practical scenario, Lord Chaitanya is disciple of Ishwara. He is Lord, but to teach everybody the need of spiritual master, he is accepting spiritual master. So, Ishwar Puri, he accepted as spiritual master. And Ishwar Puri's spiritual master is Madhavendra Puri. So, Advaitacharya's spiritual master is Ishwar Puri and Madhavendra and Advaitacharya are partners. So, for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Advaitacharya is like spiritual uncle. So therefore, the way he respects Ishwar Puri, he also respects Advaitacharya with great honor and respect, like spiritual master. Thinking Advaitacharya is disciple Madhavan Puri, Lord Chaitanya obeys him, respecting him as his spiritual master. Madhavan Puri is one of the acharyas in disciple section from Madhavacharya. Madhavan Puri had two disciples, Ishwar Puri and Sri Advait Prabhu. Therefore, Gaudiya Vaishnava Prabhu is a disciple section from Madhavacharya. This fact has been accepted in authorized books such as Gaur Gaundesh Deepika and Pramay Ratnavali as well as by Gopal Guru Goswami. Gaur Gaundesh Deepika clearly states disciple section of Gaudiya Vaishnava as follows. Brahma is the direct disciple of Vishnu, the Lord is in the spiritual sky. He is the disciple of Narada, Narada is the disciple of Vyasa, Vyasa is the disciple of Sukdev Goswami and Madhvacharya. Padmanabh Acharya is disciple of Madhvacharya. Nadhari is disciple of Padmanabh Acharya. Madhva is disciple of Nadhari. Akshaya Vidaya is disciple of Madhva. And Jaitirth is disciple of Akshaya Tirtha. Jaitirth is disciple of Jnana Sindhu and his disciple is Mahanidhi. Vidyanidhi is disciple of Mahanidhi. Rajendra is disciple of Vidyanidhi. Jaidharma is disciple of Rajendra. Purushottam is disciple of Jaidharma. Shriman Lakshmipati is disciple of Vyasatirtha, who is disciple of Purushottam, and Madhavan is disciple of Lakshmipati. So this is लौकिक दिलाते धर्म मर्यादा रक्षण स्तुति भक्ति करेन तारण चरण वंदन. To maintain the proper etiquette for the principles of religion, Lord Chaitanya goes down at lotus feet of Sri Advaitacharya with the reverential prayers and devotion. चैतन्य गोसाई के आचार्य करे प्रभु ज्ञान अपना की करेन तारण दास अभिमान. Sri Advaitacharya, however, considers Lord Chaitanya as his master and he thinks himself as servant of Lord Chaitanya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considered Advaitacharya as his superior. He is always respecting him and trying to serve him. But Advaitacharya, in his heart of heart, he always accepts Lord Chaitanya as his master. Bhakti Rasam Sindhu of Prabhu Goswami explains the super excellent quality of devotion as follows. Brahmanda Brahmananda Bhavet Isha Chet Pararada Guni Krita Naiti Bhakti Sukham Bodhe Paramano Tudamapi. If multiplied billions of times the trance of pleasure derived from impersonal Brahman realization still could not compare to even an atomic portion of the ocean of Bhakti. We just end with this verse or transcendental service. Similarly, so impersonal Brahman, the happiness of impersonal Brahman, if you multiply billions of times, it can be compared with even atomic portion of bhakti. Can you imagine? Tad kathamrita, mododo, viharanto, mahamodo, kurvanti kritina, kechit Chatur Varadam. No, for those who take pleasure in transcendent topics of Supreme Godhead, the four progressive realization, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, velocity, economic development, civilization, liberation, all combined together cannot compare any more than a straw could be to the happiness derived from hearing from transcendent activities of God. Those who engage in transcendent service of the lotus feet of Krishna, being relieved of all material enjoyment, have no attraction to the topics of impersonal monism. In Padma Puran, in connection with glorification of month of Kartik, it is stated, devotees pray. Varandev moksham na moksha vadima nachane ambare idam deva purnata gopala moksha virasani vekama jaupaka mudaya vaya mochita bhakti madhyam तथा प्रेम भक्ति स्वधाम प्रेम Dear Lord, always remembering your childhood pastimes at Vrindavan is better than for us than aspiring to merge into impersonal Brahman. Even your childhood pastimes, you liberated two sons of Kuvera and made them great devotees of your Lordship. Similarly, I wish that instead of giving me liberation, you may award me such devotion to you. In the higher Shri Narayana, you Stava, in a chapter called Narayana Stotra, it is stated. न धर्मं कामम् अर्थं वा मोक्षं वा वरदेश्वर प्रार्थये तव पदाब्जे दास्यं केवापि कामये. My dear Lord, I do not wish to become a man of religion or a master of economic development or sense gratification, nor do I wish for liberation. Although I can have all this from you, the supreme master of meditation, I do not pray for any of this. I simply pray that I may always be engaged as servant of your lotus feet. That's when they offered Prahlad Maharaj all kinds of conditions, but Prahlad Maharaj did not accept any of them. He simply wanted to engage in the service of lotus feet of Lord. Similarly, pure devotee wishes to be blessed like Prahlad Maharaj by being thus entered with devotional service. Devotees also offer their respects to Hanuman, who always remained a servant of Lord Rama. The great devotee Hanuman prays. Bhavabandha तस्यै श्रृण्यामि न मुक्ते Bhavan Prabhu Aham Dasa iti yatra vidupyate. I do not wish to take liberation or to merge in Brahman effulgence, where the conception of being a servant of Lord is complete loss. Similarly, in the Narpan Chapter it is stated, Dharmartha kam moksheshu ichhe mama kadachana tvat pada pankajasyoto jivitam yatam mama. I do not want any one of the four desirable stations. I simply want to engage as servant of the lotus feet of Lord. In Kulse Kavin's very famous Mukundmala Sutra praise, Aham Vande Tavacharanario Dvandam Advatva Heto Kumbhipakam Gurum Api Hare Narakam Napanetum Ramya Ramamrutu Tanulatam Nande Nanavirutam Bhave Hridaya Bhavane Bhave Yam Bhavantam. My Lord, I do not worship you to be liberated from this material entanglement, nor do I wish to save myself from hellish conditions of material existence, nor do I even pray for beautiful wife to enjoy in nice garden. I wish only that I may always be in full ecstasy with the pleasure of serving your Lordship. In Srimad Bhagavatam also, there are many instances in third and fourth cantos in which devotees praise the Lord simply to be engaged in service and nothing else. So we see Krishna's courage Goswami gradually developing the topic. First is telling who is Advait, who is Mahavishnu, and who is Advait, how is the limb of Mahavishnu, very important, is the efficient cause, is the material cause of the material world, how is developing the topic, and and then it's telling how this Advait Acharya, the Supreme Lord, but he is having Dasa Viman. Dasa Viman is having that consciousness of being servant and is very happy about it. And that is actually summons us to know a devotee. Devotees should cultivate this Dasa. Lord Advaita is Lord, but he is having that Dasa. So why we should not cultivate Dasa? We are eternally there, so we should cultivate Dasa. And in that Dasa Viman, in that service, there is actually great joy, great happiness. Such happiness which cannot be compared. If one becomes one with God, merges in God, enters Brahmajyoti, what happiness is there? If you multiply billions of times, it cannot be compared with one drop of this being servant of this thing. And we see now these topics are being further developed. And Krishna's Goswami says not only Advaita Acharya, but all Vishnu Tattvas, they have this dasa abhiman towards Krishna. So, Ekala Ishvara Krishna, Saha side. So, Nityananda is also Supreme Lord, he is also Vishnu Tattva, but he is also servant of Chaitanya. Though Chaitanya respects Nityananda very much, and Nityananda is elder. Similarly, Chaitanya respects Advaita Acharya, Advaita is very elder to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but still Advaita Acharya respects Chaitanya as Lord and Master. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in this world, Advaita Acharya was 60 years old. How many? 60 years. So you see, apparently Advaita Acharya looks like old. He's very elderly, but still he worships Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Why? Because he's Krishna himself. Come again. So teaches. So this is a long chapter. We have just read 43 verses. There are more than 120 verses. So I don't think we can complete it today. And this 120 are just one insignificant drop in the glory of our. And here this principle is tattva is mentioned. Past time will come later. Hmm. Thank you very much. If anybody has one question, we can tell. Yes. Vimal Arjun, yes. Hmm? Uh, are they are always God. They are always God, not one time. Yeah.
Simultaneously, they are God also, and they are maintaining
God means they are all powerful, but they have one consciousness only. Servant consciousness. Okay? They are all having that servant of Lord Chaitanya. God means they are all. They have all the potencies. They have 60 qualities. Anybody else? So Krishna's Kaviraj goes on this trying to teach us how this servitude is so important. Cultivating this Dasa Abhiman is so important. We are here in the material world because you have given up Dasa Abhiman and you have developed Boss Abhiman. Ishwara Abhiman. They want to become Ishwara. But Ishwaras are actually at Dasa. So people want more action from them. People to enjoy this material world. Also, these things. Actually, by that we are depriving ourselves of the greatest ecstasy, greatest happiness. Greatest happiness is in serving God. And when we get enamored by other things, then we lose this opportunity.
my one question was that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he directly descended from Golok Vrindavan. And we hear that the pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his lovely pastime is directly a part of Golok Vrindavan.
Yes.
So Advaita Acharya is also existing directly in Golok Vrindavan. But at the same time, here it is compared that Advaita Acharya is expansion of the expansion of Mahavishnu. So, because
you think that Advaita Acharya is there in Golokunda, there are two parts. Golokunda has two parts. One where Radha Krishna perform pastime, other is where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu perform pastimes. So Krishna and Chaitanya are same only. So all the states of Radha Krishna are also there in Chaitanya Lila. Navadip part of Golokunda. And then Advaita Acharya is also there. But he has also role in the creation. So like we see our Mughal Labdul in Niwalipur also and he's in Kharagpur. Very fast also. Same person, but they have different roles in different services, different like different like that. So it's God. He can be there in Golagunda and he can be also there as a cause of this material world through cause of. And he can also descend here. That is meaning of inconceivable. That's not like there's difference between matter and spirit. Matter has limitation of space and time and volume and all these things. Spirit has many inconceivabilities. That's whatever matter is there, spirit is antimatter. You understand? In matter we have space limitation. In spirit there is no space limitation. There is antimatter. And Supreme Lord, for him, what is there is no limitation. He is source of Paramatma, Yeah. What if he is source of Paramatma, what is impossible for him? He is all pervading, omnipresent. He is there in Golokunda also. Now the part of it. And he descends here also. He is also doing that role of as an expansion of Mahavishnu, as a material cause of this, who provide the ingredients for the creation. And providing ingredients for the creation, that cosmic manifestation. It's very great.
And so what, on this appearance day, what as we living entities offer prayer to Advait?
We can offer that. That's you have come to teach us principles of devotional service. So may we learn it and accept the principles and become servant of devotees. Also, we can pray Advaitacharyas for some education of compassion. Because of his compassion, he offered prayers and brought Chaitanya here to deliver conditions. So we can also pray that we can also become instruments in the hands of Guru and Gauranga, instrument of their compassion to help spread Krishna consciousness and then we connect people to Krishna, help them get to the world. Advaitacharyas, you can pray that my dear Lord Advaita, please bless us with this dasa Abhiman. We can become the same. Chaitanya Das Nai, Chaitanya Das, Chaitanya Das Nai, Dasarana Das. We can follow in the footsteps. We can also become Lord Chaitanya servant. We can try to servant of servant. Much. Shri Advaita Acharya Prabhu ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Chaitamrita ki jai. Krishna Swarup Goswami ki jai. Shri Prabhupada ki jai.